Well, good morning. Nice to have you on with us this morning. Hope you're having a great day. And wait a minute here or so till a few people come on. Nick, good morning to you. First on this morning. Good to have you. Mike, nice to have you on this morning. Andrea, good to have you too from Niagara Falls. Nativity. And Donna. Good crowd coming on. Jordan from Tennessee. Nice to have you on, Jordan. Madeleine, how are you? Andrea, Nouveau Brunswick. Nicole. And Joy. Andrea, is Jerry with you? Sylvie. Bonjour. Zian. Bonjour, Zian. Colleen from Wheatley. Nellie. Great to have you. I'm going to give you a little history this morning, Jerry. Jerry is on. Anna from Hamner. Good to have you. Julie from Quebec. Bonjour, Julie. Armira. How are you, Armira? And you're from Alberta. Okay. And Ezrut. Diane, another Diane from Thunder Bay. Carol from Tennessee. Maria. Great to have you guys on. And as usual, Donna from Bell Valley and Jeanette. Great to have you guys. Andrea, okay. We're going to do a little history lesson this morning. Okay? Now, I don't know if you know this. You probably don't, but when I was working on my PhD in nutrition, clinical nutrition, one of the things that we did was that we studied the history of food, and it was really fascinating. And I brought you that in a lot of ways, where the world has changed. We used to, the flour has changed, right? The introduction of vegetable oils, Procter and Gamble. I brought that to you. Made a huge change in the world, right? And the history of getting rid of cholesterol in our diets, and I brought that to you. And one area, I was thinking about this yesterday because I had read an article on oxalates, okay? And what are oxalates? Oxalates are little molecules, okay? A little tiny molecules that have a tendency to pick up calcium in your bodies. Oxalates are, you might have heard of oxalates if you hear about kidney stones. Most kidney stones are oxalates, okay? So your body makes them because oxalates pick up, they're little tiny, almost microscopic, and they pick up calcium and they can form stones, but it's a lot deeper than that. And I'll give you a little bit of history about oxalates. They're actually in the 1890s, there was a condition, and you never, I don't think I've ever read it other than when I was studying the history of food. And oxalates, there was actually in the 1850s, there was a disorder that was in the medical books even back then, and it was oxalic diathesis, okay? So let me spell it, Oxalic, okay? Diathesis, Diathesis. Now, I'm not asking you to remember that. I just want to tell you that in the 1850s, they wrote about a condition that would occur in the summer, really only occur in the summer, and that is where people were getting ill from eating too much fruits and vegetables, okay? Because, you know, not that they couldn't can vegetables in those days and, you know, that kind of thing. But, you know, when it was fresh, people would eat this stuff, and it actually created a condition. And the biggest thing with this diathesis is that not only kidney stones, but they were talking about getting digestive issues. So what am I saying? Okay, so what am I saying? One of the reasons that for 30 days, I do not recommend any fruits or vegetables. Now, you know me. People would never get sick, really, if they lived on two kingdoms. The animal kingdom and the plant kingdom. Really, people would do really well. But we don't live in a world like that, because there's a third category of food, and it's man-made. Man-made food, from vegetable oils especially, sugars. Well, let me read something that I read. Let me just get it out for you here, because I jotted it down. What's the percentage here? It's crazy. Hold on a minute. Let me find it. That 74%, let me get it, sugar is found in 74% of packaged goods. If it's in a package, guys, two bad things. One, hydrogenated vegetable oils you can keep cookies in your cupboard for months. Why is that? If you make cookies and leave them on the counter, you're not going to eat them in a month from now, right? You could put them in the freezer, yes, you could. But if you just left them on the counter, you're not eating that usually in a week, or they're gone. No. But when they put them in a packaged good in the supermarket, there's two bad things. One, 74% of them add sugar. And then, of course, on the label, they lie about their sugars. It's always high fructose corn syrup, but no, it's malt, it's barley malt, and they lie pants on fire. That's the food industry. They hide their high fructose corn syrup. It's a terrible sugar, and I've talked about it many a times. The second thing is those vegetable oils. They're hydrogenated. They're not vegetables. They're far from vegetables, but they call them vegetable oils, made of canola oil and safflower oil and peanut oil and all this and that. These things you run your car on. Your body didn't even know what they are. Margarine. Vegetable oils. Oh, they gotta be good. They don't have any cholesterol. No, that's why they're bad. And plus, your body doesn't even know what they are. Your body doesn't know what high fructose corn syrup is. But you know why? Because it was made in a lab. That's why. Your body doesn't know what it is. It metabolizes it completely different. It's sent into your liver in a nanosecond after it starts to destroy your gut. Now, the reason I'm saying this to you, the reason that even good things like plants and fruit, I want you to avoid oxalates for a month. No oxalates. And the reason I say it, okay, the reason I say it is that oxalates well, first of all, they can really irritate your gut. And if you have an irritated gut to start off with, or if you have leaky gut, guess what? You absorb these oxalates even more. What does that do? Inflammation in the body. Inflammation. And so what happens, you might not even know it, but when you look at, anybody with autoimmune, anyone with pain that never seems to go away, they don't heal properly. A lot of times by eliminating sugars, very destructive, very inflammatory. When people say, I'm going to put you on an anti-inflammatory diet, and then they tell you to eat fruits and vegetables, no. Now, I'm not telling you never to eat them, okay? So don't come after me. But for 30 days, I want you avoid. Because they can really help flare up autoimmune. They can make leaky gut worse. So something that's supposed to be good for you can really irritate. I have told hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of women, and ladies, I don't mean to pick on you, but I have told thousands of women, they're the ones that suffer the most from digestive issues. They do. Especially IBS and diverticulosis, which are little pouches. You know what happens in those little pouches? Salad gets caught in there. And how many people have I said, look, man, no salads for 30 days because they're full of oxalates. Spinach is full of oxalates. Plus, fiber is often overrated. I know that goes against the grain, but I'm telling you, fiber scrubs the bowel. Why do you want to scrub your bowel? I always tell people, why do you want to scrub your bowel? Your body knows. Drink water and you'll scrub your bowel the right way without irritating the bowel. A lot of people have irritation in the bowel because they eat too much fiber and oxalates. Where do you find oxalates? Nuts, seeds. The only seed I allow on the reset is flaxseed. Why am I doing that? Because I want to get your estrogen down. Okay? Now, you're not taking a gallon of it. A tablespoon, that's enough. And if you got diverticulosis, don't do it. Let that heal first. But oxalates, it's well established. So when you eat potatoes, they're high in oxalates. They're high in carbs too. And remember, potatoes are going to be sugar in a nanosecond. Just remember that. So, look, guys, I don't want you to leave the planet. I want you to enjoy food. I want you, but variety often is overrated, okay? And again, I make the point that we live in a different world. So what are some of the things that have oxalates in them? Let me just give you a list here because I wrote it down. Potatoes and peanuts and nuts, spinach, chocolate, beans, soy. You know me and soy. I don't like soy. Swiss chard. Yeah, they have oxalates. Oxalates have been they're blamed. They are involved, and I'm not saying it's everything, but when you have an autoimmune disorder, you know, if you go in Google autoimmune and then get one of my guru friends, they'll tell you, well, you know, lay off meat and lay off dairy and lay off this kind of stuff, right? No. It's the opposite. You have autoimmune. Every autoimmune disorder, every one of them comes from the gut. Leaky gut, leaky brain. Leaky gut, leaky lungs. Leaky gut, leaky joints. Rheumatoid arthritis. Sarcoidosis. Leaky gut. What causes leaky gut? Antibiotics. Non-steroidal anti-inflammatories. Over-the-counter medications. What causes leaky gut? When you're taking Tums to the tum-tums for your acid reflux, and now you're not absorbing food properly, you're changing the microbiome in your gut. The battle, the war, and you know what? Millions and millions and millions of people are losing that war on a daily basis. They lose the war. They don't even know they're in a war. What's the worst kind of deception? Self-deception. People don't even realize it. Because most of the time, their physicians are only worried about, oh, you got rheumatoid arthritis? Here's a steroid. Here's prednisone. And I get it. I understand it, because prednisone, is a steroid that it lowers inflammation, and, it's like a wonder drug, but with a huge double-edged sword. I mean, it destroys your immune system. It destroys your gut. The problem came out of the gut in the first place. You got to fix that, guys. And one way to fix it is to take a temporary leave of absence from oxalates. Because when things are not right, oxalates will create inflammation in the body. Never mind just kidney stones. We're seeing that going up in big time. You put a combination of oxalates and sugar, fructose, especially the high fructose corn syrup, it is so destructive to the kidneys. No wonder there's so much kidney disease today. No wonder. And so I'm not saying don't ever eat vegetables, please. But people are, they can't get past the 30-day mark because they see me as some kind of quack because I talk about eggs, meat, and cheese only. You mean only, Doc? I mean only. I mean it. There's a reason for my madness. I'm aiming at things with the reset. No oxalates for 30 days. No peanuts. No lectins. You know what lectins are? Right? Dr. Gundry, I think his name is, and he wrote a book about lectins, and nobody even heard of lectins before he wrote the book. But I've been talking about like lectins. Look, lectins are when you find in, the nightshade vegetables and tomatoes and peanuts have lectins and kidney beans, and they're lectins. Oxalates and lectins. Look, they're not going to kill you. They don't kill you. But I aim at getting rid of all that. Nothing to irritate your gut. Nothing. Even peanut butter. I love peanut butter. I do. I love it. But it's a lectin. It's an oxalate. I don't let people eat that on the reset, okay? Temporarily. Okay. No, but it's important, guys, because your gut. And you can have leaky gut and have no digestive symptoms. See, people think of leaky gut as I got trouble with my gut. And then a lot of people say, well, I don't have any trouble with my gut. Therefore, I don't have leaky gut. No, that's not it, guys. Because a lot of times, like I was saying earlier, the gut manifests itself in the brain. What do you think MS is? MS is a neurological disorder, but it started in the gut. This is why we see, look, it's not like there was never autoimmune before, but I'm telling you, it's 100-fold compared to what it used to be. Why is that? Well, like we just said, antibiotics. And antibiotics, they can save your life, guys. But I've been preaching this do you know that yesterday was my 47th year since graduating with my first degree? That's true. 47 years. May the 11th. I've been around a long time, but I've been preaching this stuff for a long time. You know, when people, why do we see so much MS? Doc, why are we seeing so much Parkinson's? Why are we seeing so much autoimmune disorders? Why are we seeing so much asthma comparatively? Well, we live in a different world. We live in a different world, and it's really been a perfect storm. That's what it has been. It's a perfect storm. It's not just one thing, but antibiotics, and again, like I said, the greatest discovery of the 20th century. Saved millions of people's lives. The problem is, it disrupts the microbiome. It's the number one reason that we have new disorders, such as I have mentioned to you. You get people that are in the canaries in the coal mine. Okay? They're just, for whatever, some people take an antibiotic and it doesn't bother them. It certainly doesn't usually bother you right away. I mean, some women understand this better than men do. But, sometimes you take an antibiotic and then, the week after you got a yeast infection. Anybody ever had that? Not me. I'm not putting my hand up that I have ever had it. But women, you know that. A lot of women do, at least. Ladies, you ever had a yeast infection? Where did that come from? Right? The most of the time comes from taking an antibiotic. It might not pop up in a day or two, but doesn't take long. You get fungus, you get yeast. It travels through your body. What if it gets into your brain? What do you think Parkinson's is? And, I used to tell people with Parkinson's, I remember I did a couple of seminars to the Parkinson's Society in Northern Ontario. And I said, here was my lecture to them. Here's what I find in my practice. Someone that has Parkinson's, they come into the office and I go, here's what I found. One, major overgrowth of candida, or yeast, or fungus. Major overgrowth. They're usually full of heavy metals. But you know what, guys? Your body knows how to get rid of heavy metals in your body, unless you have yeast. Guess what yeast does? It carries heavy metals. It'll carry heavy metals right into the brain. Mercury, lead, cadmium. That's why I'm always aiming at the gut. If you've taken any antibiotics, in 5 days, you've destroyed all of your good bacteria, all of it. There is a way to regenerate that. Probiotics, of course, and then don't feed the yeast with sugar and crappy carbs. And don't irritate your gut anymore with oxalates temporarily. Lay off them. Oh, Dr. Martin, I got to have my fiber. No, you don't. You don't. Made up to you by the food industry. The cereal companies. You think I didn't watch their propaganda? You know, not only anti-cholesterol. Oh, you can't have bacon and eggs. I just did this morning, by the way, and sausages too. And by the way, Dr. Gundry, okay, and whenever someone has, let me show you something. I think I was looking at this the other day. Okay, I have it on my bookshelf. Okay, now if you don't know what this book is, Eating for Your Blood Type. Okay, see this guy here, Dr. D'Adamo. I might have told you this story, but I guest lectured in Anaheim, California in 1999 or somewhere around there. That's when this book came out. I got him to sign it. You see? Here's his signature. Do you see it? Now, for those of you who are not listening or are going to listen to this on a podcast, I'm showing Eat for Your Blood Type book. And there's his signature to me, okay? Dr. Martin, he says, signed by Dr. D'Adamo. I got his signature. I'm going to say it was 1999. I know where I got it. I got his book in Anaheim, California. I signed a copy of my book for him on chronic fatigue syndrome. Let's see if I can find a copy of that, if I have any left at all. Out of print now. Let me just see here. Well, if you come behind me, okay, this is the French one. And you see that one there? Okay, chronic fatigue syndrome, the curse of the modern woman. That was written in, I can't remember, 1998 or I don't remember now. Okay, but all I'm saying is, Dr. D'Adamo and I, he was lecturing at the biggest natural health conference in the world every year except for the last two because of COVID. Every year for the last 25 years or more, they've held this conference, and I've been a guest speaker at that conference 3 or 4 times. Okay? I think I offended them because they haven't invited me back. But I was doing a lecture on chronic fatigue syndrome. We should do that again. I can give you the newest things on chronic fatigue syndrome. But I wrote a book about it. And it was very popular, but not as popular as Dr. D'Adamo's. I mean, he sold millions of copies of this book. And, you know, when I listened to him, Look, it wasn't that, if somebody says, oh, doc, I'm eating for my blood type. Okay. But I always say this, if only one guy is saying it and nobody else is saying it, I'm not against, if you think that eating for your blood type is a good thing, well, good for you. But I don't agree with that, because I'll tell you why. Steak, vitamin S. Everybody needs it. True or false? Well, it's true. Because in red meat, you have B12. It's not found anywhere else. So if you are a blood type that says, well, don't eat red meat, how can that be true? That can't be true. Because then you would have to take a supplement of B12 like a vegetarian does or a vegan does. If they don't take a supplement of B12, they're making a big mistake. Well, they're making a big mistake by eating that way in the first place. No, but what I'm trying to mention is even Dr. Gundry, when he talks about lectins, and to him, you should never eat that stuff. Never have another tomato. Never have kidney beans. Never have peanuts. Never have, and I'm not so much like that. I agree with him in a lot of ways. If you've got an irritated gut or whatever, well, stop eating those things. And then find out which foods really bug you. But the point I'm making is that with oxalates and lectins, they can really irritate plus or exacerbate inflammation. And that, for me, is one of the big reasons that I do what I do on the reset. I'm just trying to explain to you why I do what I do. There's a reason for it. I'm not trying to punish people. I saw a lady on the private Facebook group the other day, like Dr. Martin he's too severe. Well, I know, but I want you to get better. And getting better is my goal for you. I want you to be well. I don't want to hurt you. I don't even want to hurt your feelings. I don't. But I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you something, and again, I think I mentioned this yesterday. Someone said to me, Doc, your protocol for cancer, it's simplistic. Well, I said, I'm a simple man. I'm not complicated. If you want to do 100 things, do it. You want to go to, like I said, go to Mexico or go to Germany? You think I'm against that? I'm not against that at all. But I'm just going to tell you what I think and what I have seen. Right? Sugar? No. None. You mean none? I mean none. You have cancer. You can't have sugar. You're a diabetic. What? No sugar. Really? If you're a diabetic, you have an allergy to sugar and carbs. You shouldn't be eating sugar or carbs anymore. What? Well, I know, but I didn't give you diabetes. You have it. What do you do? Diabetes is a food problem. I believe that cancer is mainly a food problem. Now, there's the environment. There's all these chemicals that we live in this world. And I get that. I understand all of that. And unless you're planning on leaving the planet, you're not going to get away from all of it. You just can't. It's in the atmosphere. It's in the water. It's in It's in everything. There's plastics now even in the placenta. It doesn't make it right. All I'm saying is that, well, good luck with that one. If you're trying to get rid of it completely, you're going to have to leave the planet. No, but seriously, where are you going to go live with Elon Musk on the moon? Or where is he going to, by the way? Where is he trying to bring humans? To Mars or the moon? I can't remember. But my address is on planet Earth. Well, I guess I have to put up with some stuff that's in planet Earth, and good luck with getting rid of it. As long as that's on your address, you live in this planet, you're going to have chemicals, you're going to have things that you're just not going to get away from, but you got to build this is why I'm big on you building your immune system and you taking care of yourself. I'm giving information to you so that you make changes before anybody else, before you can influence anybody else, you make changes. Okay, now, so be careful with oxalates. Don't overdo it. Okay? So, are we on the same page, you and I? I hope so. Anyway, I give you information. You got to do what you think is right with it. Okay? So, tomorrow, on again, Lord willing. Friday question and answer. Okay? Send in your questions. If you haven't gotten a copy of our new book, The Reset, all of this about lectin and oxalates are there. So get that. Okay? And join the private group. If your friends and family haven't done it, well, sign them up. They'll love that community. I mean it. It's tremendous. Okay, so love you guys. Talk to you soon.